Welcome to the Kingdom Live. Today is Thursday. My name is Zan Johnson and this is Adam Steinhardt.
Hi Zan, how are you going?
Good, thank you.
Excellent.
So today we're going to take you on a seller beware journey. I can feel a rant coming on.
Oh, come on, we haven't even started. I promised you I wouldn't rant.
Yeah, well, all right. So tell us about today's problem, Adam, and how are we going to solve it for our viewers?
Zan, so today we went video camera shopping, which is because we're doing a lot more video. Whilst we love our Facebook Live video, we're doing all kinds of pro stuff. So we are upgrading our camera, which creates a good chance for us to discover and kind of learn what it's like being a customer. We obviously talk a lot about all the things you can do in marketing to be better at what you do. But in this case, we actually were a customer. So naturally, of course, what do you think our first step was? Google. Go do some research on the internet to find what is actually out there.
Yeah.
Unlike back in 1990, where I would have walked into a store and hoped that the actual salesperson could have helped me out. But I was online for a good 3 or 4 hours researching everything there was to know about the various different cameras. And there's so much information that's both good and bad. Okay. Plenty of reviews, lots of price information, lots of global brands competing. Obviously Canon, Nikon, Panasonic, all these different brands are out there. And so ultimately, lots of time discovering and learning with the ability, of course, to drill down into any feature or learn anything I didn't understand, all on the internet.
How was that experience? Did you find that some sites were better than others? I imagine they were. You got more information. Was that pleasurable?
Yeah, you become a connoisseur very quickly of the websites, and you have very little time and patience for stuff that doesn't really hit your button straight away. So, you always want to see price, absolutely, and we talk about that a lot, but once you do this, you're reminded about how the opportunity cost evaluation of price is critical. And you also wanted to see pictures, descriptions, videos of how it helps us. Really well presented websites made a big difference. So all these different things we talk about, totally real.
Yeah,
totally real.
Excellent.
Yep.
All right, so you did your 3-4 hours research.
Yep.
You became quickly educated in what you did need, what you didn't need.
Correct.
And had an idea of how much you were prepared to spend, or
absolutely knew the market really well.
Fantastic. What happened next?
Well, I guess out of curiosity, decided to go down to the main street in Adelaide and check out some of the so-called retailers to actually see if they had what we were considering actually physically in stock to check out by hand. Now that's probably a common thing that occurs, and a lot of retailers complain about this, but it's because they're not doing it right. And so the first experience, well, both experiences were absolutely horrific. Neither vendors had anything like the range we talked about, but the sales training, or the lack of, made it absolutely fundamentally impossible to tolerate and impossible to actually purchase from these places.
Okay, so I guess the core of today's subject is how are you avoiding the drain to an online store?
Yeah, how as a retailer, what are you doing to stop collapsing at the last hurdle? Because I had plenty of money not plenty of money, we had money to spend, we knew our category, we knew what we wanted, and we could have easily done a transaction today with a retailer.
And I think what's interesting about this is that the notion that you were going to spend a considerable amount of money on a camera today.
Yep. And
I won't spoil the story for everybody, but did he or didn't he? We'll see.
Yeah. And it's an interesting situation because those retailers actually benefited from the internet. I didn't see any there above the line advertising or sales material, none whatsoever. I found their presence and knew of their presence through the internet. And so the research I did was from other people's websites to get to a result where they ended up potentially with a sale by me appearing in the shop.
Yeah. So there's a couple of ways this can go, isn't there? That you're a bricks and mortar store who has a website, and on that website you need to have lots of information because people are going to use the website for research purposes.
Absolutely. And I think a really key part about that is that just because you don't get the sale through e-commerce doesn't mean that e-commerce doesn't work.
Great point.
It's a very important point because an e-commerce store still provided a lot of information, a lot of all the specs, the reviews, everything. So a really well-loaded e-commerce store absolutely had brand affinity, creative brand affinity. And now the shops that had those different products may not have got the sale, but they definitely helped, absolutely.
Fantastic. So then you're a straight online retailer.
Yes.
No bricks and mortar.
Yes.
You're just killing it because you're there for the research and the closing of the deal.
Well, that's right. And this is where price becomes the key differentiator in the absence of all other. And so the bricks and mortar retailers do have an advantage because they should have, if they had their act together, stock on the spot. Because then you work on the impulse buy, well, I want it now. I've made my decision, now I want it. So stock on the spot, buy it, take it away, see it, and they've got the ability to actually assist you with the buying of the extra items on the spot as well. So in that situation though, the retailers have to become excellent salespeople, very strong with sales skills, because in both cases they had no sales skill whatsoever to actually get to the core problem I was trying to solve, and as a result it was just a joke. It was a complete joke. So, but you've got to have great sales skills to ensure you can convert, and this occurs the minute somebody has made a decision and reach out to your business and touched your business after they've done their huge amount of research online. You've got to be good at what you do to convert that.
So what could you have seen today that would have made you feel inspired by the retail purchase experience?
Oh my God. Well, the first thing would have been that I should have been asked 20 questions. The first guy asked me one, what sort of camera do you want? And then I said, oh, looking for a video camera, and he just pointed out the entire range of 40 cameras to me on the spot. That was the end of that conversation. And the second person stumbled after the third question. That was about it. So 20 questions. They should have been asking me a lot of questions, finding out everything about the solution. One guy asked me how much they got to spend. I said, I don't know, because I didn't know. I did actually know the range, but I didn't actually want to tell him. I was holding the information that I knew back for them. So
you didn't trust him?
Didn't trust him at all. There was no trust whatsoever in the retail process. And the online process and the retail process are very similar. In both situations, you have to create trust. The consumer will not buy from you especially now in the internet age, if there's no trust. I had absolutely no trust with either of those vendors, and as a result, there's no way I was going to buy from them. I'd much prefer the ease of internet shopping where I can transact, and that's what I did. Came back to my computer, jumped on the fibre optic network here, banged out the purchase in 10 minutes, bought a surprise for you and the office along the way, did the whole thing, don't even know the name of the people who bought it from, bought it at a great price because the retailers had their chance and they were absolutely shocking. And so in that situation, the price becomes the one determining factor in the absence of value for money propositions, in the absence of relationships, and in the absence of actually having a person care for my needs. That's when you go with price. So,
and as a result of this, you now have bad karma against the retailers in Rundle Street.
Not the first time it's happened, and it's a disaster.
Yeah, you took an hour out of your day, you jumped in your car, you cruised down there, you're frustrated, it's annoying, and you're telling the world.
Telling the world, and look, they're the sort of business that say, oh gee, it's slow, sales are slow, but realistically, they both had a chance to knock off a couple of grand sale if they'd invested in sales skills. So the question I have for everybody here today is, are you actually investing in sales skills? You might be spending all this time marketing and spending all this time on websites and bricks and mortar. I mean, the cost of a store, rent's $10,000, it's $1,000 a square metre rent in Adelaide, and that's cheap by the comparison to the rest of the world. The cost, the actual human resource costs are extreme. And so the last hurdle is sales training. Are you actually doing it so that these people are ready? There was no attempt to get my details and have an ongoing conversation in the future. There was no attempt to send me an email of information. It was just an absolute debaucherous mess. And sales are down, absolutely, because the salespeople are poor and the skills are low. You have to get your salespeople in a cracked situation right now, in a very strong situation.
Yeah, I think sales training was extremely evident today, but the other thing that surprised me was product knowledge, just genuine product knowledge.
Didn't understand.
Not knowing what he had on the shelf, and that kind of left us standing on the other side, kind of reading the tags, kind of.
Yeah, sales training takes many elements, and product training is massive. We'd done 2 or 3 hours as a consumer understanding the products, and this guy, the person was actually looking at the camera, picking up, sort of trying to work out if it had exactly.
Yeah.
And so that you got away with that back in 1990 when there was no internet. You do not get away with that now. So you've got to have your game on. You cannot sit there and expect to be able to fleece the consumer with knowledge or the appearance of knowledge, because you just don't know how much knowledge the person has on the other side of the table.
Yeah. So there's a real link here between sales and marketing, and you'll no doubt go into that in a little bit more detail shortly. But so if I'm a salesperson in store, what can I be doing to help the marketing team and to assist, and I guess you're at the coalface, so report back on what's actually happening in store.
Yeah, well, that's the first thing, is that sales and marketing become very much aligned, because some of the marketing campaigns and the website efforts are all about getting people into the shop. But of course, if the actual salespeople fail in the conversion of that, marketing gets blamed for not getting people in the door to buy. Okay, so in that case, marketing does get people in the door, but the salespeople fail to convert. And so this is a really important thing, because the other way you can look at it is, well, if you have a great salesperson there, if they don't get the opportunity because marketing fails, then they can't convert either.
Yeah.
And so there's two sides to the equation. So marketing, sales have to get on the same page. They have to be together in their understanding of what's going on. The sales team need to be aware of the challenges marketing has to get people in the door and respect that. And also marketing needs to understand the questions that the salespeople are getting on a daily basis and the kind of information that consumers actually want. Had they done a great sales process on me and actually asked me 20 questions, they would have discovered a whole bunch of information. The salespeople would have discovered a whole bunch of information that could have gone back to the marketing department, fed their websites, given their websites more content that could have been very helpful for the next person surfing the net to try and find a solution.
Okay. One of our key goals for a lot of our clients is growing our database.
Yeah.
So in a retail environment, bricks and mortar, how can salespeople be helping aid that goal?
Yeah, so the first part is, if you haven't built trust, then nothing can happen. Okay. So you've got to build trust. Thumbs down. No trust, no love, no nothing. And so, not anything. So in that situation, by asking the 20 questions and having empathy for the customer, that then puts you in a position to be able to ask for the business card. I might offer it to them. Ask for email so you can follow up with brochures and more information. If they'd asked the 20 questions, they would have found out the timeline of when I was expecting to buy, how long was I going to give this process. And all those things allow them to then follow up with well-nurtured emails. Ideally, they need a computer system, a bit like, we use HubSpot, incredible. So you've got email nurturing capabilities, you've got deal management processes, CRM, electronic tools that mean that volume is very possible without spending a lot of time. All those tools are super important to counter the huge advantage that the consumer has with the internet in their hand on their phone.
We could have been researching it standing.
Could have done the whole lot. We could have bought the entire camera in the shop, and plenty of people would. So that's, now, salespeople can throw their hands up and say, oh, it's all too hard. Well, it is if you don't work on your game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Excellent. So you've clearly had years of experience with sales training, obviously with NextBite. I have sat through one or two of your
about
sales training sessions.
About 100 training sessions at least, yeah.
It would be remiss of us not to share that you are actually out and about doing sales training around Adelaide and across Australia, which is awesome. We might pop a link to that
is a good point. I mean, it's not often we spruik our own needs in this show, but absolutely. So with 25 years of sales experience, seeing all the generations of what occurred back in the 80s and 90s, when we talk about 80s and 90s, I actually lived and breathed that as a salesperson myself. And then at NextBite, we had 4 sales trainings a week.
Did they have the internet in the 80s?
No, not in the 80s, no. 4 sales trainings a week. So as you know, you've been a beneficiary of plenty of them. So, and in that situation, we can see the impact that sales training has on numbers.
Yeah.
It totally drives margin. It drives increase in product sales. It gets slow moving stock out the door. All kinds of techniques, deals with challenges of the customers. Now, all that's changed over the last 20 years is the internet's got involved. So sales skills are now more important than ever before.
Yeah.
So it's got harder and harder. So great salespeople are so valuable, and sales training is so critical. So we do sales training typically a day. We can get all your sales team together and do an incredible day, and that energizes and reinvigorates. Had those camera guys had a sales training session, they would get their investment back time and time, dollars over and over again. So
let's hope they're watching today.
I bet you they're not.
I bet you they're not either.
I bet you they're sitting back at Rundle Street saying, it's a slow day. Slow Thursday. Yeah.
So, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No probs.
I've got an app of the day which is going to assist
this does help.
our retail salespeople out in the marketplace. It's an app called Cam Scanner.
Cam Scanner.
And we first discovered this app.
CAM.
CAMSCANNER. We first discovered this app at a conference. It enables you to scan business cards. Awesome for retail salespeople who are being given cards from customers.
Yep.
Check it out. It's available at the App Store, Cam Scanner.
Good one.
Cool. Thanks for watching today. We have been The Kingdom, Zan and Adam. You can see our previous episodes at thekingdom.com.au/the-kingdom-live. We will pop the link in the comments below for more information about our sales training. And we will see you now.
Oh, hang on. There is one little thing left.
What's that?
It's like episode 61 and she hasn't worn a duplicate top yet. But it's coming to an end. The run's coming to an end.
Thank you to everyone who's noticed. Until summer when I can dig out the short sleeve tops. We will see you Monday. Thanks, everyone.
With same clothes on.
Oh, maybe. I'll start from the beginning again.